All right, let's talk about something every engineer knows all too well, that constant, deafening noise of system alarms. Today, we're going to break down how you can actually turn that chaos into a serious career-boosting skill, all by using the power of AI. You know that feeling, right? You see an alert pop up, but your gut just screams, that's not the real story. Well, we're about to dive into how you can finally prove it, how you can figure out which alarms actually matter and which ones are just crying wolf. So first, let's just all get on the same page about the problem. And it is a huge problem. We're not talking about a couple of annoying beeps here and there. We're talking about a full-on daily flood, a kind of alarm fatigue that can lead to some really serious consequences. I mean, picture this scenario. You've got an operator, it's the end of a long shift, and he's just trying to get his work done. But the alarm screen, it's just a solid wall of red. So, what does he do? What would any of us do? He hits mute. And in that one moment of silence, he misses it. The one single critical alert about a valve causing pressure to build. This isn't just a story. This kind of thing happens in plants and facilities every single day. And listen, that feeling of being totally overwhelmed, it is not just in your head. The numbers here are absolutely staggering. Some places are getting something like 10,000 alerts a day. But here's the really crazy part. Up to 95% of those are false positives or just not actionable. With numbers like that, it's basically a mathematical guarantee that the important stuff is going to get buried. All of this constant noise leads to a very real psychological condition. It's called alarm blindness. Think of it as the boy who cried wolf effect, but on a massive industrial scale. Your brain, just to protect itself, literally starts to filter out the noise. And this is super important. That's not an operator problem, it's a system problem. So if the problem is this bad, what have we been trying to do about it? For a long time, we've been leaning on the old, traditional methods. But, as our systems get more and more complex, those old rule books, they're really starting to show their age. And this is where the old way really breaks down. Traditional alarms are just rigid. They follow one simple, static rule like, if the temperature goes above X, sends an alert. That's it. It has zero context. Is the machine supposed to be hot because it's working hard? Is it a normal spike drain startup? Is it just a hot day outside? See? Modern systems need to be way smarter. They have to be aware of the context to find the real signal in all that noise. Now look, people have been working on this. There are industry standards like ISA 18.2 in processes called alarm rationalization. They're super important, but they're fundamentally manual. It can take a team months of painstaking work to go through every single alarm. And the second you change something, add a new piece of equipment, tweak a process, a lot of that hard work is instantly out of date. You're just constantly playing catch up. And that right there, that brings us to the game changer. We're talking about artificial intelligence. But don't think of it as a replacement. Think of it as your co-pilot. This is the tool that helps you finally get ahead of the chaos. And honestly, it's a skill set that's going to define the next phase of your career. So instead of those simple, static rules, AI and machine learning do something way more powerful. They build what's called a normality model. You can basically think of it as a digital twin of your equipment. It gets to know the unique personality of every single asset. It learns what's actually normal for that specific pump on a Tuesday afternoon when it's raining. It spots the tiny little deviations and patterns that no human ever could. Okay, so that all sounds pretty cool. But how does it actually work in the real world? How do you go from that fire hose of raw data to one single, clear insight that you can actually use to make a decision? Well, the process is actually pretty elegant when you break it down. First, the AI just drinks it all in, that messy flood of data from your control systems, all the operator logs, even the old maintenance records. Then, the really cool part. It fuses all of that data together, finding these hidden connections between everything. And finally, a large language model acts as a translator, turning all that complex data into a simple story that a human can actually read and understand. And this is the result. This is the part that changes your job. Instead of a useless alarm that just says, reboiler A, high pressure, you get this whole narrative in seconds. It tells you what's happening, reminds you it looks like that incident from last year, points out the valve hasn't been serviced in 18 months, and then gives you a clear recommendation. See? Now the alarm isn't lying to you anymore. It's finally telling you the whole truth. So let's talk about what this really means for you, for your career. This isn't about technology making your job disappear. Not at all. It's about augmenting your skills. It's about elevating your role from someone who just chases down alarms to someone who makes high-level, strategic decisions. Just think about it for a second. All the hours you spend digging through old data, trying to cross-reference logs, piecing together clues from a dozen different alarms. Poof, that gets automated. Your new AI copilot handles all that tedious grunt work, and that frees you up to do what you were actually hired to do. Use your brain, apply your expertise, and solve the big problems before they turn into disasters. So really, it all comes down to this one question. All the information you need to prevent downtime and to make your plant run better, it's already there, right now. It's just buried deep inside all that noise. The only question is, do you have the tools to actually hear the real story it's trying to tell you? Because becoming the engineer who can translate that noise into meaningful action, well, that's the next big step for your career. If you want to master this skill and really get ahead of the curve, make sure you subscribe. We'll be breaking down more stuff just like this. Thanks for watching.